are these people?
All right, well, this is good. We have some time to get to a lightning round, and then we have a little time to take a break before boats at midnight Eastern. So I have a couple of stories that I'm not going to read in full, but did want to show. And again, links like this, links to these will be in the Substack about from the show afterwards. So first one is from Sludge, independent outlet, written by David Moore, talking about how senators, what a surprise, claim to care about starvation in Gaza, then they vote for more bombs. And again, this is not a surprise to anyone that watches this show. But Senate Democrats signed a letter calling for urgent delivery of humanitarian aid in Gaza. It's performative theater because Trump's in office. They all sent the stuff there. Yeah. They did this under Biden and they were silent. But now that Trump is in office...
And they were definitely going to do it under fucking Harris as well.
Right. They were going to hold her accountable. Sure. All right. So, again, they signed a letter, a strongly worded letter. All right. But then they voted last week for the sale of offensive bombs to Israel's military and assault rifles for the IDF, for the police force. That's nice. 27 Senate Democrats voted in favor of a resolution introduced by Senator Sheepdog Bernie Sanders that sought to block the sale of specific weapons to Israel for its war in Gaza. All right. That's not even all of them. That's what they call the offensive weapons, not Iron Dome, not a bunch of other shit. And Senator Bernie Sanders knows that there aren't enough senators that would vote against that. So it costs him nothing to put this up, and then he's got half the progressive left screaming, Bernie's fighting for us. You fucking morons. Okay. Among Democratic senators, the count was a new high watermark for Sanders' resolutions disapproving of a certain offensive weapon sales to Israel.
Yeah,
and represents more than half the caucus. Yeah, well, no, he didn't in this case, but 25 of them still voted with the Republican. All right. Also last week, 2 Israeli human rights organizations, B'Tselema and Physicians for Human Rights Israel.
B'Tselem.
Right.
I think that's misspelled, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Shouldn't have an A in there.
Yeah. Okay. They were found by Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch in public announcements. They all are calling to end, they're calling it genocide. 19 of the 44 Democratic senators who recently called in a letter addressed to Trump administration officials for humanitarian aid in Gaza did not vote for either of Sanders' resolutions, including Schumer and Gillibrand and Schiff and Padilla from California.
Oh,
what a shock.
Chucky the Shoom.
Other lawmakers whose votes on the...
dude.
Right?
And I'm your friend to the end.
Right. Oh, God. All right. Mark Warner and Cory Booker were the 2 top Democratic recipients in the Senate of earmark contributions from AIPAC this year. Go figure.
So it wasn't just Rabbi Shmuley on his back like fucking Yoda? It wasn't just that? It wasn't?
Allegedly, that was Shmuley, right?
I thought it was definitely that.
The resolution would have stopped the resolution, which again went through and would have stopped the sales approved by Trump admin of $676 million of bombs and $24 million of firearms to Israel, signaling the senator's disapproval on humanitarian grounds. It didn't do that. Sanders' office has underscored its view.
Especially when, like, I mean, we're going to need all that bomb money that Ukraine is taking and give it to Israel. That's going to be happening at some point. So they're going to have to figure that out.
The packages are just a slice of the enormous weapons sales and military funding that the U.S. approves for Israel annually. In 24, it provided a record $18 billion in military aid to Israel, according to analyst Stephen Semler of Polygraph. And we've covered Stephen Semler articles on this show before. All right. So this again is a somewhat long article. I encourage everyone to read it. reminding people that AIPAC's United Democracy Project, Super PAC, finished June with more than $38.7 million in cash on hand. And last cycle, they made some $61 million in disbursements, with tens of millions dropped on independent expenditures in congressional races. They're buying off all our lawmakers. That's the first one. I also wanted to call attention to Arturo Dominguez at Decolonized Journalism. He wrote a thing about the recent $50 million bounty that the Trump admin put on Maduro, which reeks of war criminal Eric Prince of Blackwater. Nuts. But this, what he's saying is that this has an MO. This has fingerprints all over it and behind it. All right. And that they just announced that an increase in the reward for Maduro's head. And then Maduro turned around and put a $50 million bonus bounty on Trump's head, which was hilarious. Last year, though, after Venezuela's most recent election, war criminal Eric Prince sought to have the bounty on Maduro increase to $100 million, saying he would lead a violent coup of the Venezuelan government if the Biden administration did so. Prince even recruited Florida Senator Voldemort Rick Scott and Marco Rubio, now Secretary of State, to lead the efforts to secure the money he was seeking. He even began fundraising from individuals with no word on where that money is. What a shock. Eric Prince raising dark money? Never. So, again, this goes into how he wants to be the mercenary that basically takes out Venezuela and runs the country afterwards, or at least controls the puppet. And you got to read the rest of this article to learn about the rest of it. Check out and support Arturo over at Decolonized Journalism. Good dude. ExtremeArturo.substack.com. Third story is another one that it's an Alan MacLeod, and he just published this the other day. All right. And this is about Larry Ellison's kid, who now owns a company called Skydance. Well, Skydance bought bought Paramount, and Skydance bought CBS, then made Barry Weiss like head of CBS News, apparently. Insane. After reaching an agreement with Trump, David Ellison, the son of the second richest man in the world, Larry Ellison, has acquired Paramount Global, the media giant that owns CBS News. Larry Ellison, the largest private funder of the IDF, is deeply tied to the Israeli national security state and counts Benjamin Netanyahu among his closest war criminal friends. His son David has already announced significant changes at CBS, promising unbiased news coverage, as long as it's slanted towards Israel, and varied ideological perspectives, as long as they support Israel, which are widely understood as a signal shift toward right-wing pro-Trump coverage. Pro-Israel coverage, true. 2. Worse still, Barry Weiss, a journalist with a long history of zealous pro-Israel advocacy, no, she's a Netanyahu toady, is being considered as the network's new ombudsman, shaping its political direction precisely because of her pro-Israel, pro-Zionism stance. Mintpress News examines Ellison's close ties to both Trump and Israel, Weiss's extensive career as Israel's most vocal supporter in the U.S., and what this means for the future of free and diverse speech in America. Again, this is one of the main corporate networks now being taken over by a son of a CIA defense contractor, Oracle. Although Skydance, Ellison's media empire, is officially headed by David, it's well understood that Father Larry holds both the purse strings and the reins of power. With a net worth of over $300 billion, placing him second on the Forbes list behind Elon Musk, Larry made his fortune by founding tech giant Oracle. Oracle started as a project for CIA. Indeed, it is named after Project Oracle, a 1970s CIA operation on which Ellison worked. For some time, CIA was Oracle's only customer, until it began to win contracts with other agencies of the U.S. national security state. Today, although Oracle's customer base is much wider, it maintains its role as the privatized face of the CIA. Go read this Allen article. It is fascinating. All right, then it goes into, again, Barry Weiss, and The Dissident wrote a great article about that, also did a deep dive on Barry Weiss's background and history. We read through some of it about a month and a half ago, and I called it that Barry Weiss is a Netanyahu toady. It's a segment that's on the Indian INN YouTube channel, as well as one of the lightning round segments here on Indie Media Today and on INN's channel. But the Free Press, all right, that's the Substack that she founded with VC backing. All right, Barry could not have chosen a more Orwellian term for her authoritarian news outlet than taking a wrecking ball to Western journalists, the Western institutions on behalf of Israel, wrote a guy by the name of Autopilot. Even he knows what a fucking pathetic toady. Well, takes one CIA agent to recognize another one, I guess. The Free Press certainly has many powerful backers, having drawn investment from VCs such as Mark Andreessen and David Sachs, PayPal Mafia douchebags, as well as another Zionist, former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Yet the price being quoted to Skydance for the sale of what remains little more than a Substack blog is remarkable. He wants to buy it. It just got valued at over $100 million. Now they're trying to sell it to him for over between $200 and $250 million. Basically buying a propaganda outlet. For context, in 2013, Jeff Bezos paid $250 million for the Washington Post, which was a lot more impactful worldwide than the Free Press. So, again, read this article by Alan MacLeod.
Do it.
All right, real quickly, I did have a couple of GoFundMes and things for people. Again, that's our wall of fame. If you're able to share in a means and able to support, got a couple of bucks in your pocket, hook us up on Cash App or Ko-fi, PayPal, our website or Substacks. You see all the links there on the screen. But I did want to show this. Our friend Joe Blank, we talked about Joe Blank last week and how he had put out a buy me a coffee, that he was really in a tough spot, needs to move out of his house. He was inspired to draw, and if anyone wants to buy these, they're available for sale. This is a pencil drawing of Richard Medhurst and looks like a black and white photograph. It's so fucking lifelike. Original 8.5 by 11 inch pencil portrait of Richard Medhurst done in UD nano diamond graphite on cream drawing paper. He said, I've been wanting to draw him since forever. Finally took the time to devote himself to the effort. He really loves it and hopes his appreciation for Richard's work shows. That's amazing. But he didn't only draw Richard this week. He also drew Whitney Webb. So that's an 8 by 8 pencil portrait in the same style. Audible gave him a second free trial, so he immediately downloaded volume 1 of One Nation Under Blackmail, something he's been wanting to do. After finishing Richard Medhurst the other day, I figured she's great all her own. Why not take the time and draw her? So here you are. The original is available, asking $150 with domestic shipping included. And you can either reply, reach out via DM, or visit his Buy Me a Coffee link if it's still available. All right. Shop, gallery, some of his previous work, random posts. All right. Or if you're just super kind and want to help a semi-disabled, starving artist keep drawing awesome people, any patronage is greatly supported. And again, this is his GoFundMe or his Buy Me a Coffee right here. And you can buy Joe a Lucky Strike. All right. And then again, I wanted to mention earlier, we talked about Cowboy Kitty, Anthony Malecki's GoFundMe for his sister-in-law, Natalia, working mother taken by ICE. Please help. They've raised over $1,000. They're about a quarter of the way to their goal. She'll probably need more than that. But again, a single mother. I don't even know if she's a single mother. She's a mom. Box truck driver taking care of her daughter. Been here 9 years. applying for a green card in process, taken into ICE custody, and disappeared basically indefinitely. She was supposed to have a trial, and I thought she was supposed to get out. Last I heard, as of Friday night, she still was not out. Anthony, let me know. Is she out yet or not? I don't know. Terrible. But yeah, please, if you're able to. Like I said a couple times, IndieNewsNow.com. This is what IndieNewsNow.com looks like right now. Look at that. Israel-Palestine News put a thing about catching up with Miss Rachel. Articles from Anti-War News and from The Honest Broker, Ted Joya, who we've read a lot of articles from. I bring his Substack in.
Go to my website.
Antiwar.com again. Israeli forces kill 59 in Gaza over 24 hours, including 35 who were seeking aid. And this update's 24/7 rolling. Also, this is where you can keep the news free and where you can support us with a pay link, or you can pick up some merch in our merch store. This is where you can also watch live. There's a watch live link there. Or you can just break down and say, just show me videos from other creators and INN combined. And there are a bunch of them there. There was Slow News Day from earlier today. And Charlie Robinson's Macroaggressions and Mob Rules from AM Wake Up's channel, etc., etc. You'll see a lot. Even Pro Wrestling Talk with Angel and Miss Witchy Perfect. All right. So go check out IndieNewsNow.com. And then we've got the merch store as well. All right. Where you can get some gear.
Right quick.
This is a different merch store than the one that's embedded on the website. I'm working on getting that also embedded. This is a little bit less expensive on the shirts. They're mostly black and white shirts. They're not in different colors. All right. It's mostly about the images that are on
Look at
it.
my shirt, little bitch.
That's right. Go to my website. So, yeah, man, we did it. We did it. So before we head out of here, these again are the amazing people that support our network financially, that have given us a tip somewhere on Rumble, on YouTube, on one of these places. Cash App, $, Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, IndieNewsNow.com, which we just showed you, or over at Substack at INNnewsletter.com, where we're about to be live for Boat Smashing into Other Boats, do our React show, or at IndieMediaToday.com, where this show has been live the entire for the last couple of hours. Thank you to everybody on Substack at Indie Media Today who has been watching, who's joined. Welcome to Decensored News. I see has popped in. Good to see you. Seven Signed Soul, thank you for chatting over there. I wish more people did. Fred Edward did, I saw. Good to see everyone, really. That's it. That we can chat over there, and I'm reading that and I'm seeing it. So thank you again. Support independent media, because we need it more than ever.
We got party.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say?